Hi, lovely people. Charlie Brooks here. In case you didn't already know, Ann Summers stands for female empowerment and sexual wellness and has been placing women at the heart of their conversations for over 50 years. Responsible for putting pleasure on nearly every high street, and of course the founders of the iconic Ann Summers parties, their loyal communities allow women to establish their own businesses and create safe spaces for all. So there was no better place for me to launch The You. Shop 24/7 online or head to your nearest store to speak to one of their expertly trained colleagues. So, I am about to have my very first PR meeting, la-di-da, to talk about The You, which is equal parts exciting and a little bit scary. Beyond the team at Ann Summers and my family and friends, I've spoken to very, very few people about this. And I just hope they get the idea and what we're actually trying to achieve. I guess we shall see.
There we go, we're recording.
We're recording.
Good. Please do not swear, yeah. So I had a conversation with Ann Summers and Natalie, and she was kind of really excited about it and just said, look, to be honest, we need to get through Christmas before we kind of have a solid plan, which sort of sounds sort of fair enough. So that's kind of where she's at. I sent you an email yesterday just with trying to just kind of simplify everything and just kind of bring it down to what do we need to do for the next kind of couple of months in order to be in a good place, and where should you work with us? We should probably look at much more explicit kind of bigger pieces with you in sort of leading up to the launch of You brand in kind of February, March, which is much more the kind of what Charlie did next, more business stuff.
We want the messaging to be right about, startups, entrepreneurs, female in business, that narrative, rather than it being another sort of jokey, the butcher, type thing again.
Yeah.
And in the interim, obviously, as soon as we hit January, then working with Ann Summers to sort of go, what is the wider plan?
Okay.
And we're going to introduce you next week when we start to a lovely lady who's a very, very good publicist in our team called Molly. She has been working a lot on Ann Summers, and she's very, very good and very tenacious, and is really good at just getting lots of coverage. She's a very good publicist.
Yay!
Yeah, exciting.
Yay, I'm really excited. I feel very safe.
Oh, good. This is a project that is going to do really well. It's cool.
Having that chat has made me pause and think about what lies ahead. How we communicate the story behind the You really is key to everything. Yes, of course, I want people to know my personal journey as well, but it's really about the bigger themes that have come up for me along the way. We've already had a press leak, and if what was printed is anything to go by, I'm anticipating a bit of a reaction, and not necessarily a good one. My intentions behind this whole idea are a world away from some bawdy toy called The Butcher. It really makes me think about the realities of being a woman in the public eye, talking openly about pleasure. It's not an easy thing to do. Even after I've spoken to experts, it makes me think about what goes on a much, much larger scale, bigger than the You or me or this podcast. There are so many mixed messages that we receive about what is permissible for women to do or be or feel. And when it comes to sexuality, how a woman is seen is a big part of it. Sexualizing women seems to be totally fine, but a woman expressing sexual agency is not. I'm untangling the do's and don'ts of this on a soon-to-be very public scale, and there is so much to think about here. Yes, I do have a bit of a public image to maintain, but pleasure and sexual wellness is not something to be ashamed of. It's something that should be talked about because it is a vital part of the human experience. There's always going to be negative reactions or criticisms. I just need to hold my nerve and remember that what I'm doing is important. I've come this far. I just need to be okay with it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, the brilliant. So, while I navigate these final hurdles in bringing the U to market, I'm also thinking about pleasure and putting myself out there. I'm Charlie Brooks, and this is coming soon. Now, I'm at a point where we're close to launching, but still have a lot to do. We've gone into production in China, and the packaging is close to being signed off. I'm about to catch up with Anne Summers and Honest about this now.
Okay, we're going to share the artwork, I think, Christina, if you don't mind sharing your screen.
Okay, perfect. So what we have done is take all the work in progress, and I will zoom in, but this just gives you a snapshot of how bloody beautiful it all looks.
Oh, I just love it so much.
Let me just zoom in. But obviously you can see down the bottom how it visually should be looking. This is how it then all comes together and should feel. So you're going to have the tissue paper, the stick, all wrapped up. And then when you pull that tissue paper back, you're going to see these bits at the top. Lift your cards up about the product, lift your card up from Charlie, and then you'll see the little bag popping through. So it's a super cool thing.
So gorgeous.
Love it. It's just so interesting to look at. You know, sometimes you sit with something, you're a bit like, oh, sort of a bit bored of that now. I never, ever get tired of it. And I've seen it thousands of times. I just like pop my computer up and look at it sometimes and, you know, go, oh, wow, look at that. That's beautiful. And never get bored. So that's good.
Don't you? It's kind of like, oh, that piece, oh, that. And I hadn't quite, I think it's because you just said the eye. And I was like, which eye? Oh, yeah, that eye. It's really green. So, yeah, I completely agree. I think you always find something new in it. It's beautiful. But yeah, Sarah, do you want to update on packaging copy?
Yeah, I'll see if I can share. So this was the Explorer manual. And then on page 3, we've looked at the layering technique. And the diagram is subject to discussion, but it's just more about an idea of a lot of companies use fruit now instead of actually diagrams, just to, you know, not as crass, really.
I am a bit bored of that image, if I'm honest. I mean, there's no way we can have a vagina without it being crass, or why is it crass? Just throwing it out there. It might be completely wrong. I don't know.
There is no reason.
I think you could have something that is more cartoon-like, but so long as it doesn't look like a medical manual.
Yeah, no, if it was like a hand-drawn, looking image.
I think if you go down the illustration route, you're opening up to, well, my vagina doesn't look like that because everyone's is different. So there is a little bit of a tricky thing with that.
Use my vagina.
Okay, I'll draw it now.
It's a very big joke.
I love the packaging. I love it. I couldn't be happier with how it looks. Yes, there are some parts to iron out, but, well, you heard my feelings on it. Either way, it feels close.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. It's really there.
Thank you.
So great.
I'm about to meet Anne Summers and Honest again, but this time to talk about the brand book. This will be a really important part of presenting the product to wholesalers and helping us stock the U elsewhere. It's really key that I make sure we get how it looks and feels right, as I might not actually be coming to these meetings. I'll explain why in a bit.
Christina, where did that weird hand come from?
See, this is the thing. So Kevin and I have gone back and back. That's always been there, but him and I are going to find another hand.
I've never noticed it before.
It's always been in but we don't use that illustration much. But we're going to swap it out for another hand. But it's always been there. I did speak to MJ last week, so she's going to run her eyes over it all just to make sure nothing's been lost from a feeling and a.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think actually one of the pieces, Charlie, was trying to insert some time to get you filmed, actually, to make sure that we've got a piece from you, because I think up front you'll be able to attend all of the supplier meetings, perhaps as the brand grows and gets out of control and spirals, of course, that there might be some meetings you might not be able to go to. So just to have that level of consistency, a short video, I think, of you introing the brand or talking about the why would be lovely.
There is a conversation that will be happening that I can't have at this point that will affect that.
But it's okay. It's all good. I have spoken to Natalie. I just can't fucking talk about it at the moment. I'm so sorry. All will be made clear, but it's all fine. Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be so cryptic. We need to just potentially also look at, and I don't know if Christina, we can have a mock-up just of the little note that goes inside with just love C. That will also become clear when I speak to you guys, probably. And
okay. Yeah. If we'll do one anyway, Charlie.
I know.
Thank you.
I was being very cryptic, but here's why. Okay, so the last few days have been a bit of a head spin because I've been asked to go back to... Oops, I'm not actually meant to say what I'm returning to, but I think we all know it's a soap. There have been some talks and it's been decided that I won't be able to be part of the launch if I take the contract. So I've had conversations with my partners, Jacqueline Gold and the wonderful women at Ann Summers, who have agreed that it's a strong enough brand and product that we've been creating over the last, year and a half, nearly 2 years probably, that they will be able to launch it without me being involved, so that I will be able to do the BBC contract for however long that might be, a minimum of 1 year, maybe a year and a half. And they will still launch the product, but I won't be associated with it. On one hand, I feel really happy that I can go back and explore Janine and see what she's been doing. I feel excited that it will launch and that I will know that it's my product that's on the shelves, even though I won't be announced as the founder. I think there's a really nice, quiet, subtle satisfaction in that. But I feel also sad that the whole point of it is to normalise these conversations and to open up. But this is not me saying that I'm not going to do that, because I will. It's just a timing thing. It just has to be put on hold. And there will be a relaunch, which will include me, and I can then take ownership of it. So, maybe by the time you're hearing this, you will have the product. I just can't talk about it yet. But I will. So we just have to keep this secret and keep it quiet. Let's watch this space. Shh. To be honest, I am so glad that is now out in the open. I have been conflicted for a while, and not being able to talk about it was actually really starting to have an effect on me. Ultimately, I've made the choice to go back into a soap for a few reasons. The main one being acting is my absolute first love, and this opportunity was a very welcome one. But also, let's face it, I have a teenage daughter and a responsibility to provide for her. And why shouldn't I do both? I'm tired of hearing that I have to be one thing. I'm tired of being boxed. Why can't I be an actress, entrepreneur, mother, and podcast host? So, for now, I have to face the reality that my product, my baby, will be going out into the world without me. But I will eventually be able to claim it. And I think it's also worth remembering here that I never did want the you to be about me releasing a vibrator. So I guess this is the ultimate test of that. This is really just one tiny little sidestep in a much bigger picture. I am so grateful to everyone involved who supported me through this decision. Now I just have to get used to the you launching without my name attached. But for now, even though it's not going to happen as soon as I'd originally anticipated, going through this part of the journey has got me really in my head again about eventually putting my name to this product. Oh joy. So I want to get a bit of a pep talk from someone I really admire and regard as super fearless and open when talking about this stuff. Can we start first, please, darling, by telling me a little bit about yourself and what you do and who you are?
Yes, of course. So I'm Natalie Lee, aka Style Me Sunday. Oh, where do I start? I started blogging 10 years ago, and it started off as fashion, but then quickly evolved into so much more, because basically speaking about fashion gets a little bit boring after a while. So I then evolved into just speaking about what was going on in my life. I've got 2 girls. I also have ADHD. I have had anxiety issues. I have had body image issues, and I talk about whatever is most meaningful to me at that time. I have been on a real sort of healing journey personally, and part of that healing journey has been shedding my shame, especially my sexual shame. And I wrote a whole book about it called Feeling Myself. And that is about my sexual evolution, which has really only started since my 40s, since I got divorced and started to open up a whole new world. And what a world it is.
I mean, same. You know, I designed this product approaching my 40th birthday. I wonder what it is about turning 40 that allows us to now open up in a way and speak publicly about all the deep things that we feel this ingrained sort of shame about.
I think there's a few different reasons, but I think there is something magical about the number 4 and 40 in particular. For me, I actually decided to tell my husband that I wanted a divorce a few days before my 40th birthday. I had been thinking about it for years, but I was like, I can't go into my 40th year and, you know, just continuing this perpetual cycle of not really living. It's also the sign of your kind of the end of your reproductive years. And, you know, obviously people have babies after 40, but it is historically a bit of a significant kind of benchmark, and when you kind of can move into becoming yourself again. And I think we all just start to suddenly wake up from a slumber and go, fuck this shit. No, I'm going to actually like start living.
100%. And you are now speaking so honestly and beautifully on your platform. Do you get much kickback or much shit from people for doing that?
Oh, well. A big deep breath there, wasn't it?
That was.
I don't know how much you look yourself up on the internet, but I mean, I've made that mistake a couple of times. And you know, you find those chat rooms that just basically slag you off so much. I remember I got called like a middle-aged thirst trap. Apparently that's what I was doing. Since I got divorced, all I was doing is being naked to get men. I mean, men aren't my thing at the moment, so they were wrong there anyway. So I think they are not really in my head very much, but you know, the hardest thing is hearing people say, like, her children must be so ashamed of her. That's the hardest thing to hear, because I actually think, no, it's you that should be ashamed, because you're slagging off another woman who you don't know on the internet. So yeah, there is a lot of pushback, and people, every time I sort of show a semi-naked picture on Instagram, I lose thousands of followers.
Really?
But you know what? Because so many people don't like that expression of our sexuality in their face. They find it confronting. And if you're not ready for it, that's okay. You don't have to like it. You can happily unfollow and move on. I'm fine with that. You know, they are just not part of my world, and they can say whatever they want, but actually my picture is not to show how sexy I am. It's to say, this is my body, I have autonomy over my own body, and it's to help people feel comfortable in their skin so that they can feel confident in their bodies, and they can shed that shit that says we need to suck our stomachs in and we need to airbrush the cellulite from our legs and not have spots and blemishes and stretch marks and all of that stuff. This is the stuff I show. You know, it's not because of what I think people want. It's because of how I want to express myself, and there's a really big difference.
Natalie is so right. At the end of the day, I am never going to please everyone. And if I know why I'm doing this and who I'm doing it for, then ultimately that is what is most important. In the meantime, a very, very exciting package has arrived for me. Oh, okay. Oh my God, that was a pathetic scream. I'm sat in my dressing room at work. I've just had a package. I've got my knife and I'm trying to get into it because I know what it is. Ouch. I've seen pictures of what this looks like. The last nearly 2 years, I think it's been from start to now. It's been about this moment and... Okay. Oh, open up the box. Oh my God, they're all here. We've got the box, the finished box. So I'm continuing to open the bubble wrap. And there it is. Self-love stimulator. Capture the curiosity of you. Be curious with the beautiful images. Wow. Just going to slide the drawer open, see how that feels. Oh my God. And the packaging inside it is just... The colours just work so well. The images capture the whole story, the whole essence of what we're trying to achieve with this product. And there it is. There's the you sitting there. So beautiful. This looks so great. Hello, you. 1,000 steps is how I got here, and I want to say 1,000 thank yous for investing in this product and yourself. Yes! I wrote this in my best friend's garden. What feels like ages ago now. For unleashing your potential and helping me to unleash mine. Let's rise up together and really see what we can do. Let's change the world one happy heart, mind, and vagina at a time. Why the fuck not? Because if I can, you can. I believe in you. To see words that I've spoken, written actually in this packaged thing, when I think back to the beginning where this was just like a crazy idea and I was talking to Gordon, product designers that I've met along the way. Oh, I'm a bit overwhelmed, to be honest, sat here with it on my lap. How much my life has changed in the last 2 years, really, to having this. The off colour of the white. Oh, it's just incredible. I'm so, so proud of it. I'm so proud of everyone involved. What a brilliant team of people. One person I wanted to show the final product to as soon as possible is Julia. She has been an incredible support ever since we met on the retreat, so it only feels right for her to have a sneak peek of the you and all of its beautiful packaging. Here we go!
Oh my God, it's amazing. Beautiful, isn't it?
Isn't it fucking cool?
It is so cool.
Can you believe it's actually here in our hands?
Do you know what? I tell you what, it just shows, doesn't it? It's just that we talked about earlier, it's that 1,000 steps. You can't rush these things. If you want them to be brilliant, it's craft, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 1,000 steps, 1,000 hours. Oh my God,
Isn't that beautiful? Look at this is my favourite bit, this inside tissue, I think.
I think even the copy is beautiful as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the way the language around it is, you know, self-love.
There's my little note, which I'm a tiny bit sad that I had to take my name off of.
You will, you can get it on in the future.
I know. And then that sits in there, and then the bag.
Oh.
Can you believe it's actually here, though, in our hands, Julia, after our initial meet at the juicing retreat and those initial meetings where you went, oh, I'll speak to you about branding.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a clue.
I think what's great about it is it feels you.
Right.
You know, the personality of the brand. It feels soulful. It's got brilliant energy. It's beautiful, quirky, and a bit bonkers like you.
That's a really nice thing to say. Thank you so much, because I love it. I love it all.
You don't want to be predictable, Charlie.
No. Never.
It is amazing. And it's absolutely. Even
I know that tiny detail.
That little you.
That holds in the cards.
Holds in the card.
Founder's note,
which is, you know, amazing. The product is beautifully soft, isn't it?
I know, all the different silicones we tested. And
love it. Love it.
From me to you, Julia Leckie of Honest Brand.
thank you for helping me bring this product to life, because honestly, I couldn't have done it without you. Oh, am I crying?
Oh, I love it. You're so good. You absolutely deserve this to be amazing. And I think all the girls out there...
I can't quite put into words how special it is to show her. She really has been invaluable to me this whole journey, so hearing her response and seeing her reaction means so much. Right, on to a biggie. I'm about to meet Ann Summers and co to talk about launch plans. Woo! And this has got me super excited. I've been through my fair share of wild ideas for this launch. When I say wild, I mean wild. But I guess this is a good time to work out what's actually feasible with people who actually know what they're talking about.
So we've got on the call, we've got Rosie, who heads up any new launches or kind of campaign and content manager. We've got Lucy, who's our brand comms manager, who looks after all of our channels that go out to customer. And we have Sarah from PWR, owns the agency that looks after all of our PR and influencer campaigns. And we are finally having a conversation about how to tell the world that they can't live without the you. Charlie, on that, we are prime from the 18th of January onwards. And so that is the targeted launch date for the U, which means that we get 2 weeks or 12 days of Sexual Wellness Month, which is January. So it's really good narrative to be able to include the U in those conversations. And then we then come out of January into February. We want to target Galentine's more than Valentine's. And Galentine's is the 13th of Feb.
Yeah. Okay. The idea about the get out of your head and into your pussy type, which originally I've banged on to poor Nat about it. Like, you know, part of the branding is this Greek sort of statue head that I was hoping we might open or smash with a little hammer, and then the.
So I should explain about these heads. Think classic marble statue, Greek goddess, grey bust and head of a woman, 3D printed. The top of the head lifts off to reveal a bright neon pink inside, which hopefully will house the U.
But what about if we had that? I know it's quite an out there idea, but just for the press offices, so that lands in the middle of the magazine desk?
I think we just need to work out, because I think I love the idea, and I know, Sarah, you would always jump on something that gets attention. I think we just need to cost it out and then work out, okay, so how many can we justify? And then who of that number, who would you target to get the reaction that we want?
Yeah. When I do come around to reconnecting with this, I mean, well, there'll be conversations around what articles we do, and I think we should be really selective over making sure we get the right ones, and that it's
when do you, what kind of timescales are we looking at? When do you think you would be able to reconnect with it?
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking to me yet, and that is just because everything's been a little bit up in the air.
I know, obviously, initially when the news came in, we were all like, oh, what does that mean? But I think the thing that I'm most excited about here is that regardless of the challenges, we still very much believe in the product. And I think that's the most important thing, is actually what the product stands for, and the fact that we're going trademarks and, you know, all of those things around it. There's a lot to tell. There's a lot of narrative, which is exciting, I think.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like it in the market, so.
Yeah.
It's 2 years since you delivered that bag with the booking into the office. It's incredible. And now we're talking about a launch.
It's crazy.
So, it's been a while since I did a voice note, because the U has been in production in China. And of course, I've had to take a step back, and so I felt a little bit disconnected from it, actually. But we're looking forward to a meeting today about gifting and the launch and the marketing plan. So I'm looking forward to hearing and talking about what that's going to look like in January, because we are in December now. And the launch is imminent. I feel very excited about seeing it go into the world, and intrigued to how it will be received and whether people will enjoy it. Anyway, checking out and looking forward to the meeting later and reporting back. Exciting.
The launch. Can you just talk me through what we are actually doing for the launch? I know there's no launch party or anything like that.
The actual launch day, we will have email to Ann Summers' email address database. I think there's circa 1 million people on that. We will have stores trained, ready to sell, it being in the number one position in that toy circle bay. So also, we've shut some stores in lockdown, but opened some more stores. So we're back up to the same number pre-COVID, and we're going to open 5 more stores. So we are getting more stores, more vision. We'll have social activity. Obviously, I can't shout the numbers. Sarah probably or Clara knows better than I do. But it will go live on all 3 channels. And of course, the gifting and all the press that we hope to get from it. And I'm sure if anyone receives that box and the head...
We'll go on Insta.
Yeah, I really hope so. Yeah.
Do we all love the head?
Yeah, they look wicked.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I feel like I've pushed it and I just want everyone to be on board.
100%. Everyone we've shown it to as well. It just brings everything to life. In particular, I was delighted from a POS point of view because cardboard can only do so much. So the head really brings that brand, right? It's
really,
perfect.
yeah, wicked. Yes, good. You know, you get nervous because I pushed so hard for something. I was like, oh. Can I talk through the copy that has been sent over to me on the email, please?
Yes.
Rosie.
Yeah, of course.
So for me, a one-way ticket to pleasure. I think we could have been talking about any sex toy product. It just didn't feel bespoke to what we're doing. I'll read to you what I've written. I literally just this morning, and I'll pop it in an email over to you, and then you can maybe have a fuck around with it and see what you think and make it better. But something more like, let's talk about self-love. It's a buzzword, but to really start loving self, that takes work, which takes time. Time to really get to know and understand your body like you never have before. Time to get out of your head and comfortable being in your body like you never have before. Time to start touching yourself like you never have before. To feel at one with who we are starts from the inside out. To feel pleasure like we never have before starts from the outside in. I welcome you. Wonder Unleashed. It's all about that layering.
Nice.
It's a bit...
Yeah, I love that. That's good. Really nice.
I'll type that up now and send that over. And then if we need to add anything, if it's not saying exactly, then let me know and we can work around it.
Absolutely. Yeah, not a problem at all.
Okay, brilliant. How exciting. Thank you.
It's here. It's happening. Oh, my God. Okay, great.
So it is the beginning of January, and I'm currently at work, and we are due to launch on the 18th of this month. However, I think there may be another delay until the 31st, which again would work better. I've really pushed to get these amazing heads made. They are taking their time in getting made, but I'm having conversations with PR agents now, which is all very exciting because it's all becoming real. And I got the visuals through today for the first time. Oh my God, that was so excited. I almost peed my pants. Oh, it all feels so real. So if it is delayed from the 18th, that's okay. It gives us more time to get it to the right people, to get people talking. But it's coming. It's coming soon. It's very exciting. It's really close now. I really can't wait. This is probably a good time to jump back to Natalie to talk more about the purpose of this whole project. So there's something I really want to know about. I understand that you took part in a documentary and you had an orgasm on TV. Talk to me about that experience and how easy was that to achieve?
I did, and I didn't fake it either. I mean, that's the best bit, isn't it? It was a real orgasm, and it was the first time a real orgasm has been filmed and been shown on telly. So That's amazing. Wow. And I was a bit nervous about it. I'm not going to lie. But actually what happened was they put me in a bedroom. I had a duvet over me, gave me a whole tray of sex toys. And there was a camera above the bed, just focusing on my face. And, I obviously wasn't thinking about how many pairs of eyes were on the other side of the camera downstairs watching me. But yeah, I just zoned out and I just zoned into what I do normally when I'm on my own in my bed, and did that. And it was just really ended up being really normal and natural. And it was great. And I'm really proud of it.
That's amazing on so many levels. I think we've got to be unafraid. Again, it comes down to, shouting and being proud.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I really struggled with orgasms a long time. And it took me a very long time, a lot of, self-exploration, a lot of overcoming that shame to start touching myself. And so I think it was really only after I had children that I started to think, oh my God, what these thoughts that I'm having about thinking how bad it is to touch myself. Like, do I want my children to think that? Like, that's the only, that was what spurred on the kind of the change for me. And also, Charlie, I'm not saying everyone should get divorced and run off with a woman, but I am saying the sex that I had with a woman was revolutionary. For the first time, I wasn't thinking about my body. We're so tuned into thinking about how men see us. But with another woman, I was like, she's got all the same shit as I have. She's got cellulite. She's got rolls. That was the first time that I was able to really be present. And it was such a beautiful awakening for me that I can experience pleasure and I can not be in my head and I can enjoy it for what it is.
I mean, that sounds amazing. And I'm, like I said before, I'm definitely on a journey of sorts. Talking about children, do you have open conversations with them about this stuff?
I mean, teenagers are little fuckers and they really don't want their mum to be talking about sex, but I have done probably a little bit too much for their liking, but I want them to be able to have autonomy over their own body. I have to stay strong in my thinking that even though you might be embarrassed with me talking about masturbation right now, all the time, and on a platform, when you're older, you're going to say, oh, do you know what? I'm really grateful that my mum was open with me, and I'm happy that I now know what she was doing and where she was coming from, whether that comes true or not. I mean, I'm still saving money for therapy sessions for when they're older anyway.
Well, let me tell you, having been through it with a teenage daughter myself, to have heard her say to me last week, because she's 18 now, Mum, you're an inspiration and I'm so proud of you. And to hear the ripple effect of the language that I'm using come back at me is priceless.
Yes. Charlie, you've got the validation of your 18-year-old daughter. Like, how much higher praise or like necessary support could you get? And when you are struggling with, thinking about what people are thinking, just really go back to that question. Who am I worried about? Does it really matter? Don't think about people as a collective. Actually identify who you're worried about. And then maybe you have to have a conversation with that person. These fears can definitely be allayed if we delve into it a bit more. But know that you're doing what you should be doing. Don't be held back by a society that tells you to stay small. You're growing right now. You're in your fucking element. You're blooming. Don't you dare dampen that shit down for anyone.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Let's run through that fear like a fucking bull. Yeah, baby! Woo! Again, Natalie is so right. It's really about whose opinion I care about the most. And when we can see the kinds of things said about us within a few clicks, it's so important to reconnect to that simple fact and not let anything else hold me back. Right. Something really exciting is about to happen. Kate and Leanne from Ann Summers are about to have a wholesale meeting with a potential supplier without me. This is a really big moment, and the first time that I can hear how someone is going to react to the story of the you without having to be polite in front of me. I just hope it resonates with her.
Before I start on this slide, I kind of just give you a bit of a background into kind of how this all came about. So we were approached by a businesswoman who actually works outside of the industry, but she had an amazing, innovative idea and had a really great story behind it and a really great concept. It initially started as a bit of a personal journey of self-discovery for her, but actually it really resonated with many women, and she wanted to find a way to get this message out there. So our customer is a woman on the verge of revelation, and she's someone who knows she wants more but doesn't quite know how or why. She'd be typically around the age of 35. She's always put everybody's needs before herself, and she kind of just feels like she's lost herself a little bit along the way, and she is seeking guidance to kind of realise her potential and looking for something greater on a journey that's just all about her and not about, maybe her children or her partner or, life.
It's really sad, but I feel like that is most women.
It is.
That I can relate to that totally.
Yeah, definitely. And again, and like hearing the story and how this was a personal journey, but I think actually all of us who were listening, we could all relate to it.
Yeah.
On some level. So I think that's why, the You brand is really for any woman who is just on that kind of self-discovery journey.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love the branding on it. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really
is. And it looks it's like it's fun, but it still looks premium.
It does. It is really, really lovely. And just sliding the box out and then peeling it and unwrapping it, it does feel really premium.
Yeah, no, I love the branding, love the packaging. I love that it's got its USP with that layering technology. Yeah, really nice. And this feels a little bit more giftable as well.
Yes,
yeah. If you can leave this with me, I would like to take this away and pitch this into our marketing teams and channels, and then get some feedback from them if it's something that they would like to support. And hopefully they do want to support, and we can come back with a date that we could do that for you.
Excited. I'm really glad you love it.
Yeah, I do. I really do. Looks really good. Yeah, and we'll try and get moving quickly on it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks.
Right.
Take care, guys. Bye. Bye.
Oh my God, I can't. I'm so excited. My baby went out into the world today to the first wholesale partner meeting, which was the first time we've shown the brand book and the idea and the concept and how this was created and where it's come from. And I couldn't go because I'm not allowed, but that's okay. It's okay. I think it's great that, I am sort of behind this effectively, but that I can get this feedback of how it's gone down. And I'm just listening to the playback now, and she related, she was to everything that she's going through. And that's exactly what I wanted for women who don't feel comfortable in their bodies, who feel like there's more to life. I know that I bang on about that all the time, but anyway, the long and short of it is, sorry I've got so overexcited there, I was just slightly short of breath, is that they want it in before Valentine's Day, bish, bash, bosh, and so women can enjoy this product. And I feel so inspired by all this stuff. Can't believe it's all happening. Can't believe it. Coming Soon was brought to you by Audi and features me, Charlie Brooks, with contributions from Natalie Lee, aka Style Me Sunday. The series producer is Holly Aquilina. This episode was produced and sound designed by Ivor Manley, and the executive producer is Ellie Di Martino. Hey, it's Charlie again. I am beyond delighted to tell you about the You, a vibrator I designed with sexual wellness powerhouse Ann Summers. It's the very first of its kind, as this vibrator uses patent-pending layering technology to build waves of pleasure. Unlike anything you own, the You targets the clitoris externally and internally, because you only get 20% of the clitoris on the outside, don't you know? It will help you to get out of your head and into your body, to find that deep and sensual pleasure like never before. It's available now on AnneSummers.com or in store. I can't wait to hear what you think.